English Grammar, Lesson 18. Topic: the structure of phrasal verbs. Watch and listen.
I just went to the attic to get this. Do you know why? Halloween is coming up. Americans celebrate this holiday on October 31st. Probably the most popular tradition on Halloween is trick-or-treating. Children choose costumes, put them on, and go around their neighborhoods to receive candy. I'd like to tell you a little bit about how my family is preparing for Halloween.
Now watch and listen again. I use 3 phrasal verbs: come up, put on, and go around. Pay attention to their structure. Do they have objects?
I just went to the attic to get this. Do you know why? Halloween is coming up. Americans celebrate this holiday on October 31st. Probably the most popular tradition on Halloween is trick-or-treating. Children choose costumes, put them on, and go around their neighborhoods to receive candy. I'd like to tell you a little bit about how my family is preparing for Halloween.
What did you observe? Do phrasal verbs have objects? The answer is yes and no. Phrasal verbs can be transitive, meaning followed by an object, or intransitive, meaning not followed by an object. Here are the 3 phrasal verbs I used. Which ones have an object? Put on and go around. Come up is intransitive, there is no object. If something is coming up, it's happening soon. We use this in the present progressive. Put on is transitive. It means dress in, put on costumes, put on a coat, put on a hat. Go around is also transitive, and if you go around somewhere, you're moving from place to place. Go around the neighborhood, go around the city, go around the world. Now let's answer this question. Where does the object of a transitive phrasal verb go? Did you notice the word order? You heard me place an object after a phrasal verb, as in put on costumes, go around the neighborhood. But objects can have more than one position. It's also correct to say children put costumes on. However, it's incorrect to say they go the neighborhood around to receive candy. What does this tell us? It means that transitive phrasal verbs can be separable or inseparable, also called non-separable. By separable, I mean that the object can come between the verb and a particle, as in, put costumes on. At this point, I think it will be helpful for you to see this breakdown of phrasal verbs. They can be intransitive or transitive. There are probably more transitive phrasal verbs than intransitive. If they're transitive, they'll be separable or inseparable. We saw examples of each. Go around is inseparable. Put on is separable. Now, if it's separable, probably it can be separated. There's a choice. For example, put on costumes, put costumes on. There are some phrasal verbs that actually must be separated by an object, and we'll see at least one example later in this lesson. I should also note that sometimes a phrasal verb can be more than one type. If you're ever in doubt about the structure of a phrasal verb, consult a dictionary. However, if you're using a transitive phrasal verb and you have to guess, place the object after the phrasal verb. Chances are you'll be correct. One rule about object placement must be stressed. With a phrasal verb that is separable, pronouns as direct objects must be placed between the verb and its particle. We've seen this with put on. It is correct to say children put on costumes, children put costumes on, and children put them on. We cannot say children put on them. The object pronoun them must come between the verb and the particle. Exercise 1. Identify the meaning of each phrasal verb as well as the grammar it requires. Example: watch and listen.
Probably on Halloween, I'll go around the neighborhood with my children, and my husband will stay home to hand out candy.
You heard me say my husband will hand out candy. What does hand out mean? A. Steal from everyone. B. Show to everyone. Or C. Give to everyone. It means C. When you hand out things, you give those things to everyone in a group or everyone in a place. Look again at the statement. Is handout intransitive or transitive? Well, he's handing out candy. Candy is the object, so handout is transitive. I'll also tell you that it's a separable phrasal verb. He can hand out candy or hand candy out. But note with the pronoun, we'd have to say, he hands it out. I also want you to take a second look at this statement. I'll go around the neighborhood with my children. Go around is transitive, but in this statement, how many objects do you see? Well, the neighborhood is the object of the phrasal verb. What about my children? That's the object of a preposition, with. I do not see with as part of the phrasal verb because it's not changing the definition. We're only adding information here. I could simply say, I'll go around the neighborhood. With my children is simply adding the information of who will be in my company. 1. Watch and listen.
My son is especially looking forward to Halloween. This year, he's decided to be a character from a movie, WALL-E. WALL-E is a robot. I've been working on this costume for 2 or 3 weeks, and this is what I've done so far. This is the body. These are the eyes. Somehow, they'll go on top of his head, like that.
I said my son is looking forward to Halloween. What does look forward to mean? A. Scared of a future problem? B. Be excited about a future event? Or C. Cannot understand? The answer is B. Look at the statement again. Is look forward to intransitive or transitive? The object is Halloween. This phrasal verb is transitive. It is inseparable. We have 3 parts. The object must follow the second particle. In the clip, you also heard me say, I've been working on this costume for 2 or 3 weeks. What does work on mean? A. Try to make or fix. B. Choose quickly. Or C. Try to get or buy. The answer is A. Working on something is about producing and developing it. Working on projects, for example. Look at the statement again. Is work on intransitive or transitive? The object is this costume, so it is transitive. Work on is inseparable. The object must follow the phrasal verb. 2. Watch and listen.
The robot WALL-E has arms. I've made pieces of the arms to go like this. But I'm not sure yet how they're going to stick to my son's arms. So I went to the store today and I picked up some elastic. I taped it to the backs, and I think with the help of the elastic, the arms will turn out well. What do you think? Can you imagine that?
You heard me say, I went to the store and I picked up some elastic. What does pick up mean? A. Buy, B. Lose, or C. Hide? The answer is A. Buy. Look at the statement again. Is pick up intransitive or transitive? The object is some elastic. This is transitive and it's separable. Note the possible word choices. In the clip, I also said, I think the arms of the robot will turn out well. What does turn out mean? A. Result or happen in a certain way. B. Break or stop working. C. Become easier to understand. The answer? A. Look at the statement again. Is turn out intransitive or transitive? There is no object. Turn out is intransitive. 3. Watch and listen.
You already know that my son is going to dress up as Wally. As for my daughter, she's still very little, so I'm not sure she even understands what Halloween is. But I'm hoping that on October 31st, I'll be able to talk her into dressing up as a cheerleader. I think she'd be very cute. As for me, I'm one of those adults that still enjoys dressing up. So this year, I think I'm going to be a nurse. This was my mother's nursing cape. This is from the 1960s, so nurses don't wear capes like this anymore. So I have a nursing cape, and I picked up some fabric, white fabric, and I think somehow I'll be able to make a nurse's cap.
In the clip, I said, I still enjoy dressing up. I'm going to dress up as a nurse from the 1960s. What does dress up mean? A. Wash clothes. B. Go to a party. Or C. Wear special clothes. The answer? C. Special clothes can be formal clothing or a costume. It depends on the context. Look again at the statement. Is dress up intransitive or transitive? In this statement, it's intransitive. There's no object. But we can follow this phrasal verb with a prepositional phrase. I can dress up. I can dress up as a nurse. I can dress up in a nurse's uniform. This phrasal verb also has a transitive form. I can dress someone up. For example, my daughter. I can dress her up as a cheerleader. In the clip, I also said, I hope I'll be able to talk my daughter into dressing up as a cheerleader. What does talk into mean? A. Explain, B. Persuade, or C. Force? The answer? B. Look again at the statement. Is talk into intransitive or transitive? It's transitive. There are two objects. The first object is a direct object. It follows the verb. The other object is an indirect object. It must follow the second particle. We can talk someone into something. We can talk someone into doing something. Exercise 2. Answer the questions. Try to use the phrasal verb or verbs in your response. 1. Name a holiday or event that is coming up. Are you looking forward to it? Why or why not? 2. Do you like dressing up? How often do you put on formal clothing? Do you feel comfortable going around when you're dressed formally? 3. Can people easily talk you into doing things? 4. Name a project you worked on for a long time. How did the project turn out? 5. Where could you pick up a small gift for a dinner host? Do you buy such gifts in advance, or do you pick them up at the last minute? There's still more to come. In a future lesson, we'll review the structure of phrasal verbs. I'll explain how compound words are formed from phrasal verbs, and we'll take a close look at the pronunciation patterns of phrasal verbs. For now, I'd like to invite you to EnglishCafe.com, where additional practice for this lesson is available under the name Jennifer ESL.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy studies. And happy Halloween.